From our studio in Georgetown, this is the TV Delmarva Channel 14 News at 4.
Good day, Delmarva. Reporter Rob Petrie here for TV Delmarva Channel 14 News. Straight ahead, we lead with breaking news. Deldot is under fire as more people come forward who were sent false toll violations. Country music superstar and Delawarean Jimmie Allen announces a new album coming out in June that has everything to do with the first state. And Senator Carper is weighing in and supporting Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the U.S. Supreme Court. These stories and more coming up, but weather first with Hunter Alton.
Good Thursday afternoon, Delmarva. We began today with some isolated showers and even a couple rumbles of thunder throughout much of the morning hours. But we remain dry for the most part going throughout much of today, but that will change once we get into the afternoon and evening hours tonight as we're looking at a cold front making its way towards us, and it's going to be redeveloping some thunderstorms later on. Taking a live look outside of North Ocean City, Maryland, and well, it's kind of hard to actually see anything out there because there is some quite dense fog right along our coastal locations with temperatures currently 54 degrees in North Ocean City. Let's have a look at some radar going into this afternoon. It's been fairly quiet over the last couple of hours besides a few isolated showers in northern New Castle County and as well as just across the bay, just west of Baltimore City. But it's these storms that we are monitoring down in the Carolinas. These are beginning to develop around areas of Raleigh and east of Winston-Salem. These are the main ones we're going to be monitoring over the next several hours, moving over towards the north and east, and we could be looking at some strong and maybe even severe thunderstorms for the southern portions of Delmarva. Now, as of the last couple of minutes ago, we've had some new weather hazards we need to discuss. We still in New Castle County have that flood watch in effect till about midnight tonight, with the potential of seeing some flooding concerns with the already heavy amounts of rainfall that we've received over the last couple of days. And brand new for the southern portions of Delmarva, Accomack, and Northampton counties, including Cape Charles and Exmoor, you are under a tornado watch now until 9 p.m. this evening for the potential of seeing some storms, exhibiting some rotation possibilities of creating maybe an isolated tornado or two, and some strong damaging winds. Take a look at temperatures across the region at this hour. We're starting to see that warm front begin to lift northward, and that's allowing temperatures to start warming up to about 65 right now in Georgetown, 64 there in Salisbury, 63 for Pocomoke City, 65 for Exmoor, 60 degrees for Easton, but just north of that front, 55 right now in Centerville, 56 in Dover, and even only 51 degrees right now in Wilmington all the way up north. Take a look at the dew points. You're starting to see an increase in that moisture. Dew points are now getting into the 60s just south of that front, and that's going to continue to lift northward throughout the overnight hours. Take a look at sustained winds. We're starting to see the winds increase out of the southeast, just south of that warm front, sustained anywhere between about 10 and 15 miles per hour, but we are seeing some wind gusts as high as 22 right now in Georgetown, 23 for Salisbury, 20 miles per hour there in Ocean City, and 17 miles per hour out of Pocomoke City. Now, we are going to be continuing to monitor the storm threat going into the overnight hours tonight, but at least we have some good news going into this weekend. Much nicer weather and much warmer weather expected going into next week. I'll have more details on the storm threat in just a little bit.
At this time, we bring you breaking news. Deldot is under fire after countless people were sent false toll violations when they didn't run the toll. The Department of Transportation is refusing to acknowledge the issue as more and more people continue to speak out, demanding that something be done to fix the issue. We have been inundated by dozens of residents from across the state who received toll violations after traveling through the Biddle's Corner Toll Plaza in New Castle County when they had a working Easy Pass with active funds in their account. The issue appears to span over the course of at least the past 6 months, as reports from false violations for some residents date all the way back to October of last year. Some residents, including Sherry Steller of Smyrna, have received dozens of false violations and are now speaking out, demanding that Deldot take action to resolve the issue.
Today, presently I have 53, and I did sign on to my mail app for today, And as of today, I do believe I have 17 more coming in the mail today. Yes, I have 17 pieces of mail coming in today. So I have 17 more toll violations.
So how many altogether would that total to?
Once I add the 17 in today, I'll be at 78 toll violations.
And these, let's be very clear here, these are false. You paid the toll, you have the Easy Pass. You should not have been sent this, correct?
Correct. I do have one here. It's $88.50. It charges me $1 and then $25 administrative fee, 10 for the ambulance, combat violent crimes, 15, civil penalty, 25, and a civil penalty surcharge, $12.50. The very next day, and that was lane 41. Very next day, same vehicle, lane 41. Now my toll is $51. So it went down from $88.50 now to $51. I'm back in toll lane number 40 this time, and now my toll is only $53. So not one of these not one has the same amount at any time. Some of them have, they'll drop a charge and then they'll bring it back on to me. I own a business out of Smyrna. And when my trucks went through, they got my truck plus the trailer or my chipper that was hooked up to the trailer. So not only did I get one, I got double charged. I went down to Easy Pass in Dover, spent an hour in there, showed her all my transponders. She checked the batteries, everything is great. Disregard these. Then she tells me to write a appeal for every single violation that I got. My time is valuable to me. I don't have time to sit around and do appeals when the fault is not on my fault. I did check my bank statement before I called you today, and it has been coming out of my account monthly.
Now, we raised these concerns directly to Deldot's Community Relations Director, Charles McLeod, who refused to acknowledge the issue and repeatedly requested that everyone contact customer service. Now, everyone that we have interviewed and spoke to has already reached out to customer service to no avail, some of whom have already had their false toll violations sent to collections, including Adam Pritchett of Camden, who said Deldot did nothing to resolve the issue.
It's been a long stream of this because I've been an Easy Pass user for quite some time. And I used to get the toll violations. I would even hold it out there to make sure that it connects and wait for it to say, okay, you're all clear. Sometimes it would say load balance. There was a bunch of goofy things going on. And they told me it was my transponder. So I invested in 4 new transponders for my vehicles. And then I would go through there and it would say good to go every time. And then I would get notices in the mail that I had ran through the violation. It would show a picture of my tag. And it was, in particular, was on my little Subaru. And I'm like, why are they sending me notices? I'm an Easy Pass account holder. It should be real simple. And then just kind of condensing it down, it happened multiple times. I've even been taken to collections because I can't even resolve the issue when I call back to Easy Pass.
Now, the extent of the issue, exactly how many people have been affected and what's causing this to happen, all of which Deldot has refused to acknowledge, is not yet known at this time. Kelsey Gallagher of Smyrna said she recently got a large stack of false toll violations, all with random dates, showing her tag. For each one of them, she says she had a working, funded Easy Pass transponder in her vehicle and should not have received the violations.
Like I said, I've been commuting since July every day, Monday through Friday. I take the Biddles toll there and home. And what happened was, I want to say last week, I got a stack about this big. I sent you the picture of toll violations, and they all are just random, various dates. My plate is clear as day. And it's funny because about a month ago, I want to say, I had a loaner vehicle for the dealership that I use, and I had forgotten to take my Easy Pass. And so it did send me a ticket for that, and the dealership transferred it over to me, which was fine. So I called to see if I could get it squared away, gave them all my information, and I said, hey, like, you know, can we just check, because I think I got something in the mail the other day as far as like a violation. The guy was very nice, and he was like, you know, I don't see anything under your name, your plate number, your transponder, anything. So you're good to go. Here we are. Last week, I got that stack of paperwork. And the best part about it is that he told me that they have people specifically there working to match up plates with transponder numbers. So why am I getting 30 plus, toll violations when you can see my plate clear as day and you should be able to line it up with the transponder? So yeah, that's basically what made me so upset. And the fact is I tried to go online and enter them to put my transponder number in, and it won't even let me do that. It says to contact the main office. And it's just upsetting because I don't want my license to get suspended. They tell you all this stuff, or collections like the other gentleman that you interviewed. I don't want any of that to happen, but I feel like I'm a Easy Pass customer. My transponder works. They charge me right on the dot for refills on it. And so I'm really frustrated with this and having to get it fixed.
An interview request with Deldot Secretary Nicole Majeski was denied. Officials have continued to refuse to provide any specifics on this issue. TV Delmarva News is continuing to investigate this developing story. We will continue to bring you stories of Delawareans impacted by this issue until Deldot addresses it and fixes the problem. Coming up, country music superstar and Delawarean Jimmie Allen announces a new album coming out in June. More details on the way. Don't go away. Well, country music superstar and Delawarean Jimmie Allen announces a new album coming out in June that has everything to do with Delaware. Our Jonathan Mastrat has the story.
On June 24th, Jimmie Allen's third album, Tulip Drive, hits shelves and digital platforms. The country music star says the new album features his time growing up in Milton and the life lessons he learned from his grandmother. His new single, Down Home, features the familiar water tower and view of the Milton area in his newly released single that will be featured on the new album. With his meteoric rise to the top of country music in Nashville, Delaware hasn't become too small for Allen and is always reminding the world of his hometown roots in the first state. As he writes about his experiences for albums in Milton, he's also performed several benefit concerts in Delaware, most recently his annual Christmas concert to raise money for Sussex County schools. Jonathan Mastrat for TV Delmarva News.
Well, it's looking like we're in store for scattered thunderstorms overnight tonight as we get a preview of your pinpoint weather forecast with Hunter Alton.
We will be continuing to monitor the thunderstorm situation throughout the afternoon and evening hours tonight as a cold front continues to press on eastward. We are looking for some more sunshine settling in towards this weekend, and a major warm-up is in store going into the mid-to-late portions of next week. So what can we expect from these thunderstorms this evening? I'll let you know when we come back here on TV Delmarva Channel 14 News. All right, Delmarva, let's get right into the pinpoint forecast going into the overnight hours tonight. We are monitoring the chance of seeing some scattered thunderstorms during this afternoon and evening hours, but the good news is once that front moves through just about the 10 o'clock time period, we are going to be looking at some decreasing clouds as well and cooling things down a bit too. Your overnight lows 44 to 48 degrees, and we got some light winds from the west between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And the latest convective risk from the Storm Prediction Center today, areas of Easton, Georgetown, Salisbury, Ocean City, Pocomoke City, stretching all the way over towards Lexington Park. And that greenish color, you are under a marginal risk of severe weather for this afternoon and evening, a level 1 out of 5 risk, where some of these storms going into the overnight hours tonight could contain some strong, damaging winds. And the southern tip of Delmarva, including Exmoor and Cape Charles, mostly in Northampton and Accomack counties, you're under a slight risk of severe weather, a level 2 out of 5 risk. These areas have the greatest potential of seeing some isolated wind damage from some very strong winds within some of these thunderstorms once that front moves through later on. And speaking of severe weather, we want to give you the chance of being notified in the best way possible And what better way to be notified is from a NOAA weather radio. All thanks to Midland USA and Wall Service Center for sponsoring this giveaway. We're not only giving the chance of one person, but we're giving away 3 of these this month. So be sure to go to our website, tvdelmarva.com, go right on the homepage and sign up for this giveaway to potentially win one of these life-saving devices for your home when severe weather strikes. So now let's take a look at the futurecast. Rest of the afternoon and evening hours. This is 5 o'clock this evening. We got areas of showers developing over towards southeastern Virginia and even some thunderstorms beginning to show up down there. Once we get into the 7 o'clock hour, we're starting to see some thunderstorms over towards areas of Exmoor and Cape Charles. We have a little bit of some scattered thunderstorms there in central Delmarva too as that cold front begins to move through. By 10 o'clock, the main portion of the front would be past us, but we're still going to be having some leftover showers here and there around the 10 o'clock hour. But then 2 o'clock in the morning, that front is well off of our coast, and we're actually going to be looking at some dry conditions finally, which it seems like the last several days it's just been nothing but rain. And we got temperatures will be cooling off down into the 40s. And going into tomorrow morning, we're finally going to be looking at some sunshine. Waking up with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies and temperatures in the upper 40s. But by the time we get into the afternoon hours tomorrow, Friday, we're going to be warming things up into the lower 60s. Still looking at some mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. But once we get into the evening hours, once again, we have to watch out for some areas of some isolated showers developing once again during the evening hours as the big storm system that's moving over towards the northeastern portions of the United States going to bring over some leftover cloud cover and some rain chances to finish out this work week. Friday forecast overall, though, we got partly sunny skies. We're looking at some drier conditions, especially during the daytime hours. It's a nice, comfortable temperatures, too. 60 to 64 degrees with some light winds from the west between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Although we're going to be seeing some drier conditions tomorrow, that allergy index for tomorrow is not going to be anybody's friend. Very, very high tree pollen in the form of maple, elm, and juniper. We got a level 10 out of 12 risk, very high to, well, that's pretty self-explanatory because that's probably what a lot of people are going to be saying, please stop. So if you are an allergy sufferer, make sure you take extra precautions tomorrow because those allergies are not going to be very, very fun out there. Now, we're going to switch gears and take a look at the marine conditions for tomorrow, beginning with the Atlantic. We got some isolated showers, 58 degrees, winds from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour with seas up 2 to 4 feet. Take a look at the Delaware Bay. We got partly sunny skies, 59 degrees. Winds from the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour with seas of around 1 foot expected. And then the Chesapeake Bay, partly sunny skies, 58 degrees. Winds from the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour with seas of around 1 foot expected. Now, going into the overnight hours tomorrow night, got partly cloudy skies, still watching for some areas of some isolated showers, but still a fairly comfortable night in store. Temperatures 44 to 47 degrees with some light winds from the south at about 5 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at that extended outlook because it is going to be a nice several days going ahead. This weekend, though, we are going to be looking at some much drier conditions, but our temperatures are going to be a couple degrees below average in the mid and upper 50s. By the time we get to Monday, though, we are going to be beginning our warm-up trend, mostly sunny, 63 degrees, and take a look at Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. With that large ridge of high pressure across the eastern U.S., we're going to see temperatures skyrocketing well into the 70s, and we could be looking at some 80-degree areas here on Delmarva by Thursday.
Coming up, Senator Carper is weighing in and supporting Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court. More details straight ahead. Keep it here. Ketanji Brown Jackson could be the first African-American female to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. Lawmakers are voting today on her confirmation as we hear from Senator Carper.
Judge Jackson, our colleague said these words, nobody's going to steal my joy. Mr. President, I second that emotion. This historic moment and this historic nominee brings me a great joy as well. Over the next several minutes, I am going to Talk about Judge Jackson's impeccable qualifications. I want to discuss her sterling record as a public servant, including nearly a decade as a federal judge, that make her supremely qualified to serve on our Supreme Court.
Weather Classroom is sponsored by No Nonsense Office Machines, committed to providing quality products and services with over 15 years of experience here in Sussex County. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's weather lesson we will be talking about the differences between severe thunderstorm watches and severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, do you know the difference between a severe thunderstorm watch and a severe thunderstorm warning? Well, there is a big difference between them. First, starting off, a severe thunderstorm watch means be prepared. Severe thunderstorms are possible in or near the watch area. Stay informed and be ready to act if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your location, and the watch area is typically large and covering numerous counties or even entire states. And then we get to severe thunderstorm warnings, which means take action. Severe weather has been reported by spotters or indicated by radar. Warnings indicate immediate danger to life and property, which you need to take shelter in a substantial building, get out of mobile homes that can blow over in high winds, and warnings typically encompass a much smaller area around the size of a city or even just a small county that may be impacted by large hail or damaging winds identified by a National Weather Service forecaster on radar or by trained weather spotters or law enforcement who is watching the storm. Now, as of last year, we have a different criteria now for severe thunderstorm warnings to better alert the public of the severity of non-tornadic storms. First off, we have your standard severe thunderstorm warning with winds of 60 miles per hour or hail greater than a size of quarters. Now, this time last year, this was the only criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. And then we add two different taglines to it. Next is known as a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, which involves winds of at least 70 miles per hour or hail greater than the size of golf balls. And then finally, we now have destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, which involve winds of at least 80 miles per hour or greater or hail larger than the size of baseballs. The big difference with severe thunderstorm warnings with a destructive tag is that these warnings will now be triggering WEA alerts on your smartphone, very similar to a tornado warning or a high-end flash flood warning to better alert the public of very severe thunderstorms that could produce tornadic-like damage.
Well, that about does it for us today, Delmarva. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at TV Delmarva and on our website, tvdelmarva.com, for real-time news and weather updates. And while you're there, be sure to sign our petition calling all the major cable providers to carry TV Delmarva on their platforms so we can provide this kind of exclusive breaking local programming to all of Delmarva. Until next time, I'm Rob Petrie reporting for TV Delmarva, Channel 14 News.